Are we live? All right, we're live. Hopefully, people will start signing on. It takes a few minutes for them to get notified. All right, guys. So I'm out here with Thomas Beach. You're running for House?
State House, South Carolina.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Now, I met you outside. You're giving out lemonade and fruit punch, which got my attention. So thank you again for the drink. What's making you choose to run for House? You were mentioning your competitor, something with critical race theory or gender theory.
All of the above. Yeah. So I'm a Republican father from a little town near here, and I was driving home and I heard that Republicans killed the ban on transgender sports last year, and they mentioned a couple people that voted to kill the bill. And I said, well, that's terrible. I wonder who did that. And I looked up. I said, oh, that was my state representative. I said, well, if he's done that, what else has he voted against or for? So I did my homework, and okay, so not only did he vote and kill the Save Women's Sports Act, which was the ban, but he also proposed legislation for hormone therapy for boys as young as 10 years old. Now, I have three children, two of them are boys, and you know what? It was when you're talking about doing that to a young boy's body, there's really not really coming back from that, and it's child abuse. So I dug a little bit deeper. He voted for funding for Planned Parenthood. He voted against constitutional carry, and there's a laundry list, and it goes on and on. Why isn't anybody challenging him? You know, why he's supposed to be a Republican, and I knew that South Carolina, out of all the red states, South Carolina has the most liberal GOP-controlled legislature in the nation. We have a supermajority of Republicans, but boy, they love to vote like liberal Democrats. And so, anyways, in a nutshell, my name's Thomas Beach. I'm a born-again Christian, a family man, licensed real estate agent, U.S. Army Airborne Ranger, and the conservative option. And I'm in this race to remove a liberal Republican. That's
I didn't know that even existed.
yeah. That you voted against the fairness and for young girls and the world's gotten crazy. As a parent, it's just like every time we turn around, some politicians taking away our freedoms, our options, and just making us have harder lives to live.
So I met two of your kids outside, and you said your daughter is 10 years old. Is that right?
She's 12.
12 years old. Plays soccer.
Yeah.
And there's a boy in her school that wants to play on the women's soccer team. Is that
so? That in the school near her, but not in her school.
Got it. Okay.
But there are boys upcoming that are, listen, my son, who's in the third grade, is 10 years old, right? My youngest boy, he's 7 years old. If we see a man and a woman kiss on TV, like their husband and wife, my two boys go, ooh, gross. When I kiss my wife, oh, that's awful gross, Daddy, don't do that.
Yep.
And I say, hey, you want to go, play with these folks? Oh, I don't want to play with girls, Dad. It's not because they're confused. They're just boys who haven't,
Right.
gone through puberty yet.
Right.
And so, but we have kids their age where parents or whoever, I don't know what's going on, that are saying that, hey, if you don't like, what you want to wear or whatever you want to be, you can be. So there's boys coming into my daughter's schools who feel that way, and it's simply not fair for our young girls to be competing against boys,
right,
in the sports.
Yeah, I stand. I think that trans athletes should be in their own division. I don't think they should be competing against, trans women should not compete against women. They're just too strong. and we've seen it in professional sports. Fallon Fox, do you know who that is?
No, no.
She was a UFC fighter. She was a trans woman who broke the cranial skull of her female competitor. And the female competitor said, I've never felt a woman that strong before. There's a difference in
Yeah.
hand size. And I mean, we know, I don't have to sell it to you.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're a Republican that stands against that and you stand for common sense, it sounds like you do. We need more of you, and we need to get rid of the rhinos. This guy's supporting Planned Parenthood and he's a conservative, quote unquote.
Yeah. Right.
That's shocking to me. One of the most, I think, strongest values of conservatives is pro-life. And this guy, what's his name?
West Cox.
West Cox. He's not living up to that.
No.
So
we got Roe v. Wade that just happened, right? And South Carolina doesn't have a law. So when the states have to determine what laws they want in regards to abortion, we don't have anything. And so my representative is, being the liberal he is, I just don't trust him to ban abortion how it needs to be banned. They're always looking the way to push for the left, but never to push the goalpost for the right as far as they need to.
do you want to see abortion completely abolished?
Yeah, without exception. I know that there's some of these very rare cases that a mother's life is in danger.
Ectopic pregnancy, for example.
But
Yeah.
I think they have C-section, and that's what a lot of times saves the mother's life.
Right.
But as far as, let's say that a woman was brutally raped, I just don't think that we should be sentencing the baby murder, killing the baby, instead of the scum that did it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to punish.
I always say that too, because a lot of times liberals will say, well, what about the case of rape, right? And again, I'm exactly with you. Why take the sins of the father out on the baby?
Yeah.
The baby now exists. It's now been conceived. Let's give that baby an opportunity to have a chance at this life, right? And I was adopted at birth. I was born to a very poor mother in Mexico. She couldn't afford me, so she put me up for adoption. And now look at me. I'm doing this live stream. I got all this technology. I'm sitting with you here trying to fight for, those kind of values, Republican values. And so I'm a big fan of adoption. I think abortion is horrible. And a lot of people say to me, oh, but abortion reduces the crime rate. I don't think killing babies, if that's how you're reducing crime, is going to be a solution. Like, I'm not cool with that anymore. I used to be pro-choice, by the way, my whole life. 35 years pro-choice. No more. I woke up to that. And I realized how disgusting, and not only that, how racist it is. Because it's really the black and brown people that are being targeted the most by the whole entire abortion industry. So I stand against it. I'm with you. I want to abolish abortion now. I finally made it to the other side completely.
Well, one of the biggest differences between my opponent and myself is that I understand conservatism. So I think the question in politics isn't what you believe, but why. Why are we against abortion? Why are we for Second Amendment? Why are we against Obamacare? Why are we for strong national borders? The answer is, you can find in the Declaration of Independence, because we believe that God gave every individual 3 inalienable rights. So, and if you read in the Declaration, the purpose of the role of government is to protect. Well, for us today, politicians need to conserve these 3 rights. So if you look at abortion, does abortion protect or trample on those 3 rights? The answer is tramples. Okay, so we're against abortion. Why are we against Obamacare or universal health care or things of that nature? Does those policies protect or trample on those 3 natural rights? They trample. So that's why we're against universal health care. The Second Amendment. Does the Second Amendment protect or trample on those 3 natural rights? Well, the Second Amendment protects them, so that's why we're for it. And I think, we have a small division, not small, there is a division in the GOP, and you have the moderates. If we want unity, we need to be behind we need to be on the same page when it comes to our ideology. And what I would like to see the party, and what I plan to do is my ministry in the State House, is to remind other Republicans, we're here to conserve those 3 rights. A couple few weeks ago, they had a bill on styling, coloring, cutting hair, shampooing hair. If you were a young lady getting in the industry and you were interning and your job is to wash somebody's hair, you had to go through 1,200 extra hours of class, the training, pay unspecified fees, like a few different hoops to wash hair. This is the pursuit of happiness, to chase somebody's dream. That was a bad law. That was a bad bill. We should have fought against that because we want people to chase their dreams, the pursuit of happiness. And so if Republicans kind of understood the ideology of what is conservatism, and that we need to conserve rights, those three rights, you're going to see a lot less rhinos, and like Mitt Romney and Lindsey Graham here. If they understood and believed in natural law.
Well, I love you. Yeah, I hope we get all the rhinos out. I'm happy about Marjorie Taylor Greene. You heard that? She is allowed to. She's eligible to continue running.
Mm-hmm.
That was another witch hunt, as they did to our President Trump.
Yeah.
And so it's good to see that the non-rhinos are winning right now. And do you want to see Trump come back in 2024?
I do. I really do. He really pushed hard, and we need a fighter. I think the first 4 years that he was in showed us that it could get done.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can get more people behind him, he could get a lot more done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you have a successful campaign.
Thank you.
And again, guys, if you guys want to support Thomas Beach or share, here he is right here. You just guys got an exclusive interview. This is your first podcast.
Yeah, first podcast.
And I hope you do many more of these.
Beach for house.
They're pretty easy, right? Just conversations.
Yeah.
Very
great.
So if you guys want to go follow Thomas Beach, beachforhouse.com, you could find all information here. You could donate to his link, his campaign. And whether or not you're in Greenville, you could still tell your friends about him that that might live here or want to move here. We need guys like you to represent us in the government. And thank you again for the time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, bro. Thanks
you
again, man.
All right. I appreciate that.
All right, guys, we're going to hop off again, and I'll be back in a little bit. Stay tuned for some more exclusive interviews here from Rock the Red in Greenville, South Carolina.